Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm happy to be with you here at the end of the week and the end of our time looking at promises of God from the Old Testament. And the one I've selected today comes from Psalm 37. In verses 4 and 5, we find these words: Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desires. Commit everything you do to the Lord. Trust him, and he will help you. Now, this is an interesting promise. It's a promise about cause and effect. This causes that, which brings about that effect. Lots in life, we have cause and effect experiences. If I don't eat breakfast, I'm really hungry by lunch. If someone drinks too much alcohol, bad things happen to their body. And if they get out and drive, bad things may happen to other people. Lots of things happen in life. On the other hand, lots of good things happen. It's been known in this country for many, many years. If you get a good education and you work hard, your chances of success in this life are pretty good. Now, they're not guaranteed. There are no guarantees in life, except as someone once said, death and taxes. And even taxes aren't guaranteed, depending on your situation. Death is certainly, that's a guarantee. But other than that, there really are no guarantees. You can work really hard and get nowhere. It just happens to be the way it works out. But this passage says, take delight in the Lord. Now, here's the first step that you have to do. God won't do it for you. He won't force it on you either. You don't have to do this. I mean, you can choose not to, but let's assume that you make this choice. You take delight in the Lord. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means to enjoy God's company and God's words and ways of doing things. Recently, I had an experience that I had no idea was going to happen. I had been praying for something for quite a while, and all of a sudden, it manifested itself right in front of me. And to be honest, at the moment, I wasn't surprised. Afterwards, I guess I was. I was just not surprised, maybe, just overwhelmed with how good God had been in that moment. And I hope you've had experiences like that. I hope your life is defined by that. Certainly, it's supposed to be. That's what God intends. That's not what maybe some folks get, but that's not God's problem or his fault. So it says to take delight in the Lord. And then he will give you your heart's desires. Now, it doesn't say he'll give you everything you want. I'd like a new truck. It's not really anything wrong with my old truck, except it's just two-wheel drive. And where I live, four-wheel drive is almost a necessity. Well, it is in the wintertime, so I don't drive it in the wintertime. And I'd like a new truck. But you know what? New trucks are expensive. And I just can't justify spending that much money on a new truck. Now, if you can, that's fine. That's you. I'm talking about me here. This is not a directive of how to live. It's just me. I really would like that, but I don't really think God's going to give me that. It's not that he can't. I just don't think that God is that, I don't know, what's the right word? I don't think he's that childish. Now, what he will give me is make an assurance that I'll have something to drive that'll work. And I do, as I said. I really like my truck. I drive it as much as I can. But what he wants to give me is my heart's desire, not for a thing, not for a place, not for something selfish, but for my desire to be used of him, my desire to be a blessing to others, my desire to leave a legacy for my kids and the people that know me. You know, as you can tell from my hair, my beard here, I'm getting up in years. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I don't feel like it sometimes either. But I have to recognize the fact that what's important to me is only going to last another short section of life, certainly less than what I've already experienced. And in that time, or if you're much, much younger, in your time, God wants to give you the desires of your heart to be somebody loving and kind and gracious. Now, if your desire is to be powerful and get your way over people, God might let you do that, but that's not what He wants. And so it goes on to say, commit everything you do to the Lord. Now, here's the qualifying piece. God will give you the desires of your heart when you do things that are directed to His goal, His plans. Everything you do, commit it to God, and then trust Him. And the final piece is this, and He will help you out. See, He's not going to leave you alone. You may not get to be the richest person in your family in terms of money. Maybe you will. I was talking to a fellow recently, and I said, you know, it really is just stuff. And stuff doesn't last. So what really lasts? Hmm? What do you think really lasts? Well, God wants you to focus on those things. And you know what? I'm going to leave it at that so you can think about it. But I also want to say that if you want the things that last of God, you can trust Him and it'll happen. So thanks for listening this week. I'll be back next week to talk more about the promises of God. Hope you have a great weekend. If you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Thanks for listening, my friend. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.